Super Jackie Grealish drops a masterclass performance as City win 3-0 away to Wolves at the Molineux. And I said going into this game, I just wanted to get in there, get the 3 points and get out, move into the international break, hopefully pick up no injuries, and we move on to that all-important Manchester derby on October 2nd. But we got much more than that. We got exactly what we wanted in the grand scheme of things, which was a big performance. I've spoken a lot about in streams recently that there's teething issues. We're getting used to a new style of play, certain formation changes and switch-ups. And I think it was evident today that things are really starting to come together. I think to a man, everybody played really well, and I think that's the first time we can say that so far this season. Maybe some players weren't at their very best, but nobody dropped a stinker. It was an overall really good performance, and yes, some things went our way, and we're going to get into all that. We're going to get into all the main talking points, so stay tuned for that. But before we go any further, do us a massive favor if you would. I know we do streams more so than videos, but we're going to keep doing pre-recorded content too, because it's nice to keep up with that sort of thing. Drop a like on the video if you would. It helps us massively. We're currently on the road to 4K subs, and we would love if you would help us on that journey. So subscribe if you're new to as well, and hit the notification bell as well, so you don't miss any uploads or any streams. Anyways, Rebel, a 3-0 win away. Grealish, who was a man with a lot of criticism during the week following his Dortmund performance, got the first goal inside a minute, 55 seconds I believe it was. The Nordic meat shield Erling Haaland, no surprise there, getting the second, and then your man Phil Foden coming up with the third. I think it was all round a really good performance.
It was a really good performance from what is going down as the best overall our best front three. The whole front three got a goal. We don't usually have good form for predicting a Grealish goal, but the first time I predicted it, he scored. So have that money. You can stop predicting it now. Foden.
I will never stop. I will never stop predicting his goals. I finally got what I wanted. I keep predicting Grealish goals, and it finally came.
I think we were talking about it in the stream last night. It was when Grealish is playing best, he needs someone overlapping him. And we saw, even for that goal, Bernardo was over the other side of him. He is going over. He is overlapping Grealish. That's when he plays his best football, when he has someone overlapping him. And it was shown again today. I thought he was really good. I think he has our man of the match. He wasn't given a BT Sportsman match because Jermaine Genius decided to give it to Kevin De Bruyne. Look, he got 2 assists, De Bruyne. I can say that I'll say that much for him. He was really, really poor. Other than that, I thought the 2 moments were great, and he will break that assist record. But by God, I thought just his transition play was absolutely piss poor today. And look, again, it was one of those games where we obviously had more of the ball, but we didn't have 70-80% of the ball like we usually would. Wolves really took it to us, especially when they had 10 men. And yeah, I do agree though. It was a really good performance, and I think the 3 goals were just fantastic. I thought the build-up play in the first one from Foden was unbelievable. The back heel to De Bruyne, world class. But like you said, it's one of those. I'm happy out. We take that. We take that going into a big game in 2 weeks then.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Listen, I think there's no point in focusing too much on De Bruyne, and I think he will admit himself it wasn't his best performance, but I don't want to criticize too much. I don't want to complain too much after a 3-0 win, and pretty well everybody played very well. So the main person I want to talk about, I think, to start the main conversation off, is Jack Grealish. It's so refreshing. This guy, I'm backing him week on week on week because I really believe in his ability. I just think certain things haven't gone his way, and of course we've spoken in depth so many times about teething issues and adapting to the system and getting used to the way we play, and him just taking the shackles off really, and being more aggressive and ruthless. And I think we saw that today. I think he spoke about in his post-match interview how he recognized that he didn't play well against Dortmund during the week, and he thought the criticism was justified, and that takes a lot of character to admit those kind of things. A lot of players with less character and a weak mentality will go into defense mode and say, I wasn't that bad, or I don't think it was justified. I think people are being harsh. No, he put his chest out and said, listen, I acknowledge the fact I didn't play well, and he wanted to go out clearly today to make a point. And I'm really glad Pep showed the faith in him, didn't just pull him off and say, you're not starting against Wolves because you don't deserve it. Pep shows faith in him, and people will say he has to because he paid 100 million for him. No, Pep clearly has faith in this guy, and it got paid back in abundance today. And I think things went Grealish's way for a change. For one of the first times ever, I think Grealish got the look he deserved. And when Nathan Collins got sent off, I think, first of all, I want to put it out there, a lot of people will disagree with me, justified red card. I've seen people on Twitter actually saying that was not a red card and they hope Wolves appeal the red card. Sorry, look at Grealish's stomach and his thigh. There's a roaring red gash in 2 different places. Studs are high, dangerous play. It's a stonewall red. But that's getting away from the main point, is that when Nathan Collins went off, there's more space on the pitch. And we spoke about in a stream recently how Grealish needs space. Grealish is an aggressive runner with the ball, and that extra bit of space in the pitch only helped Grealish. We saw a number of times when after Collins got sent off that Grealish was making bursting runs, and they were very influential. They were positive runs, and that's what we want from Grealish. He looked like he was more hungry, determined. He realised where he could cause problems for Wolves, and I was overall really happy with him. I think he warrants our man of the match. Now, BT, like you said, gave the man of the match to Kevin De Bruyne. I personally don't think he deserves it. I know he got 2 assists, and that's probably their reasoning behind it. I think Jack Grealish deserves a man of the match award for today's performance. He was absolutely fantastic, and all we want now from Grealish is consistency. He needs to bring that into the United game. I said on a stream recently as well that I think a front three of Foden, Haaland and Grealish can be an extremely formidable front three. You just need to give the three of them working together as a trio consistency and game time to fail together, grow together and work together and understand each other. You're not going to get chemistry building quickly if you're chopping and changing your front three all the time. So that might be unfair on Mahrez, that might be unfair on Palmer or Alvarez. But I think it's good to focus in on one front three and let them help each other. I think they complement each other, particularly Foden and Grealish, because they offer very different things. So, listen, Jack Grealish, I'm really happy with it. I just want to see him continue this. You guys know, if you're long-time viewers of this channel, that I'm a big advocate for Jack Grealish. I got a lot of love for that guy. So, it's great for me to see him, and I think City fans will feel the same, to see him showing that strong mentality, that character, to get himself up from a low, which was the Dortmund game, and perform the way he did today. But the red card, Rebel, I think you might want to touch on that quickly. He's our fellow Irishman, Nathan Collins. What was he thinking?
It's a very, very bad challenge. I think it's more so, I thought in general, it's more so the older generation. Like I said to my uncle was over here at the time, stepdad was there, they both said it wasn't a red card. We're definitely on the side of it's a red card. I mean, he got the ball. We're not sure which ball, but he got the ball. And anyway, it's a very, very bad tackle. And like, again, It did open up those spaces. It ended up taking Neves pretty much entirely out of the game because he had to drop back into centre half. That was key in winning the game as well, I thought, because he wasn't there in the middle of the park where his best position is. But again, I don't think there was much stopping us. Was it 2-0? 2-0 again? The red card happened. That was only 1-0. No, it was 2-0. I think we were. Even in the second half, I wasn't too pushed on the matter. Everyone was saying we needed to. I really wasn't too pushed. I thought we were going to kind of coast through it. And anyway, it sounds really, really cocky, but it's just the kind of team we have now where even if that red card didn't happen, I wouldn't have been worried. I think it was just that high level of performance, even with some players putting in less than stellar overall performances. But it's a man I want to shout out. It's a man we've signed for 15 million quid. Manuel Akanji is fucking fantastic. I thought Diaz was unbelievable as well, but Akanji has come in and he's offered that kind of calmness. He's very calm on the ball. He's very strong as well. I didn't think he was that physical, and he's good on the ball as well. He has everything a defender can need in a City team, and you know, shout out to him because it came out of nowhere. Everyone thought, Laporte might have another setback. Someone might have another setback. No, he's in there because he's good enough to play there. Like, he is good enough to be in that starting 11 week in, week out. And we gave him a bit, the smallest amount of stick for the Dortmund match, but I thought he was outstanding today. And Diaz as well was unbelievable. I think we've just got the defence has turned it around. Like, I thought, given the start of the season, I thought we would have maybe conceded 1 or 2 today. But no, we were fine. I thought we were really, really good at the back as well today. We were good going forward, or even better at the back, I thought.
Listen, with Akanji, 15 million, I know we haven't seen a huge amount of him today. It was his Premier League debut, so it was always going to be interesting to see how he would fare up against a Premier League opposition, and a very good opposition. I want to say I have a lot of respect for Wolves as a club. Yeah. I think they're a really well-run club. They've caused us a lot of problems, so it was going to be a big test for him because they have some good attacking players, and for 15 million, it's just looking like a steal. I speak about all the time how we rarely have players that come into our team and just fit in straight away. They don't take an adapting period. This guy doesn't look like he needs an adapting period. This guy is established, he's experienced, he's in the prime of his career, and he's come in and from the off, he looks like he's well capable of playing this level. And for 15 million, like I keep saying, it's just more and more looking like a steal. And I think, you know, we originally thought he was going to come in and just be kind of like a next man, if you like, a lower down option to Laporte, Stones, and even Ake. But Laporte, Stones, and Ake, and maybe not so much Diaz, but those three, when I'd be saying, you know, there's a real threat to our place in the team here because this guy can do the business. And there's another quick shout out to someone else, is John Stones. Absolutely fantastic today. I think he played 3 different positions. He started off at right back. He was in centre half at some times when other centre halves were a bit further up the pitch, and then ended up in defensive midfield. And You don't put a player into defensive midfield unless you have real trust in that player. Pep Guardiola clearly really trusts John Stones if he's willing to put him into defensive midfield. So it was absolutely fantastic to see, and I really enjoyed that. But listen, overall, it was a fantastic performance. Phil Foden, very influential, got his goal, well deserved. I'm really happy with that. It's 3 points. I think we're top of the league now, clear 2 points of Arsenal. As long as they don't win tomorrow, we will stay top of the league. So hold tight, Brentford. Hopefully they can do a job for us. What do you think of John Stones, actually? I think it's an interesting topic because he had an injury there. He looked slow a bit starting off back from injury, but now he looks fantastic.
You asking me to describe John Stones is a dangerous thing because I think he is an absolutely fantastic footballer. I think he's settled in. Joe said it again last night in the stream. I'd have him at right back before I'd have Walker at right back because he suits the system. He suits inverting, pretty much playing as a holding midfielder, and you saw it again today at the end. He played holding midfielder and he was a really, really good holding midfielder. I love the man. I do love the man to death. Like it's such a weird it's such a weird situation because give it 3 years ago, people were wanting myself in particular wanted Stones out, wanted a Gundogan out. Top Mara's a shit that hasn't really changed, but having those three men, Gundogan now captain of the club, Stones being a mainstay, centre half and right back, it's unreal. Like that's how good I think it has to be said for Pep. That's how good he is at building a system around these players as well. That we can have a centre-back go and play right-back, tucking in as a midfielder. John Stones is a fantastic footballer, and I will push the narrative again that he is, if not the best, the second best centre-half of the club. I love him.
I agree. I think John Stones is an absolutely fantastic footballer. And I suppose just really quickly, we'll finish off. Erling Haaland, he got his goal today. Absolutely no shock there. What is that? Is that 10 Premier League or 11 Premier League goals or 11 or 12? He's on some mad stat already. Some people said he was going to hit 15 all season, and he's looking like he's going to get that by the end of September. He got his goal. It was a bit of a scruffy goal, and I think that kind of summed up his performance. 11 goals. So it's kind of summed up his performance today. He didn't have his best. He looked frustrated at times. His body language looked like he was frustrated. But that just shows how determined he is. That just shows how much he wants to get the ball. He wants to score goals. He wants to be aggressive. And it's what you need. It's what you need. And I think over time, things like that will improve. His touch was a bit off today, but that just shows how good the guy is. Even when he's not playing at his best and things aren't going his way, he's still bagging goals. Revel, what do you think of Haaland today?
He's just unbelievable. I think Gina said he'd be very frustrated coming off, and he would be because he only got one goal. But there were a lot of opportunities for him to go and score again. I thought he was brilliant. I thought his link-up was really, really good today, which it's not something you say about him. His link-up today was really good, and he was getting in those positions. He was causing trouble. The goal on his weak foot outside the 18-yard box, outside the box. Fantastic. He's doing everything we want of him and more. He's been able to drop into those channels. Like I saw a lot more of Haaland out wide today than I thought I would have ever needed to see. But he was putting in a couple of crosses. Again, overall, I just thought it was fantastic. It's not just the goals. It's the contribution. It's the pulling men off other players. He's a monster. He's an absolute monster. And if he stays long enough, he will break that Premier League goal record. And you'll hear it.
Listen, happy days. Erling Haaland's the man. The Nordic Meat Shield keeps scoring goals. I think Bournemouth, is the only game he hasn't scored in all season. So and it's the one game I've been at. He didn't score. So hopefully, I'm going to the Manchester Derby now in 2 weeks. Hopefully he can score a few goals against the Rags. And that's the next game, people. That is the next game, the Manchester Derby. We move on to that. Massive game. It's probably the first big test of the season. Spurs last week probably would have been the first big test, or would have been definitely. But now Erik ten Hag's Man United, who seem to be picking up a bit of momentum, will be our first test. They come to the Etihad. And we will make plenty of content for that. Hopefully we'll get a United fan perspective on. Maybe some other City fans will come on and chat to us for that game. So do look forward to that content. Hit the like button for Super Jackie Grealish today. I think he deserves a like from you lot on stream. I would appreciate that massively. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll see you very soon with some more content. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.